Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinion as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all the sectors, all the different areas looking for potential investment opportunities in individual companies. It could be dividend-paying companies. It could be max growth. It could be a little bit of speculative as well. I've got an opinion about, I don't know, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 different sectors. I followed technology sectors too ever since I started investing back in the mid to late 2000s. So let's dive in here. Let's take a look, see what's going on today. We start with the dollar, and the dollar is continuing its move up. The momentum is higher, and that is generally driven by interest rates. Now, the question that everyone has, and I don't have the answer, but this is the question, I think, is this going to continue up in the dollar, or are we going to peak here against this resistance support trend line that was there and turn back over? It's possible, and that's what we're looking for. And why does that matter? Well, if it continues to go up, usually your interest rates are going up, 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 and that's going to have an impact on certain investments. If we roll over, more than likely, it will be a slowdown in the market, potential recession, and that could very well happen after the elections. Maybe they're pumping this thing up into November or something like that, and then we eventually roll over to some degree, and we'll have to monitor and watch to see what that looks like. 2-year yields are going on up, 0.6%. The momentum is still to the upside, and we've got a nice little flaggish type pattern developing where we could potentially continue higher. We've got the 10-year also up a little bit, momentum still to the upside. We are still below a lot of the resistance that is ahead of us. So most chart patterns, they break that pattern or trend line, then you get a return move. And sometimes you could return all the way back to where it has broken out from. So there's your resistance lines ahead of us. And then the 30-year is just slightly lower. That's already broken back within the pattern, and we'll see if this continues higher or not. And there we are within the pattern. TYX, TNX ratio just moving sideways, so we're not getting a ton of tailwinds in precious metals at the moment with a stronger dollar, stronger yields, and even the yield curve moving sideways. We are at a very low level compared to history in terms of the yield curve, so think of it as inverted. And we can uninvert for a very long period, which is a lot of fuel for precious metals to go higher under. TLT bond prices, man, this is a fun looking read here. This is a bearish engulfing here on the monthly. That generally indicates a move lower. We're right up against a lot of this support. We do have a bullish engulfing that's showing up today that's generally going to net a bounce in the short term, and we'll have to see what the bounce looks like. We're right where that support is. But we've had some pretty big selling pressure the past week or two coming back to this support. This is just yields flipped over. So remember, yields were going up into a corner and breaking down. Bonds are breaking upward. And what we're looking for is a potential support area here where we start to move on up and yields start to fall. So bond prices up. This is what we're looking at, bond prices. And then yields are just flipped. They're just flipped over where all of this is just flipped like around that way. So this one we're looking down for yields and up for bond prices. The 2 and 10-year, we have a little bit of yield curve inversion today, just a teeny bit, up 0.43%. And we have been making our way lower. So this could be, here's your move lower, a consolidation pattern, a move lower, and we could be consolidating here in the very short term. When those yields drop, that is when we could see this drop further. Maybe it's after the election. And that's when a potential slowdown, false flag event, all of those things have occurred in history. 9/11 occurred in a very similar situation with the yield curve dropping like that. COVID occurred in 2020. It was very similar to what could be coming, and that was right here, right in 2011. So 2001, that's right here. So it starts dropping like a rock before it because the market knows something's coming. And if we see that, we will see that coming up. Gold, since it didn't have the tailwinds today, we were just slightly lower, but that looks fantastic to move higher. We've got this downward facing pattern. We've broken out of the pattern, and we have just small selling pressure today. And it's right up against support. So this still looks good to go higher. Because we have previous momentum up, the consolidation sideways, the breakout of the consolidation, and then it's a small bloody nose candlestick, which all indicates that we could go higher. Silver also hanging in there. We are above a lot of support. That is very important to me. And we don't have a ton of selling pressure. We had some selling pressure here, kind of came back to the support level almost. And now we're kind of just hanging out. So we are consolidating or moving sideways is before a potential move to the upside because we don't have the ton of selling pressure here. Platinum doesn't give a crap. It went up 1.14%. And right underneath this resistance line. We also have a bullish engulfing on the weekly candlestick if we can close the week out strong. We also, on top of that, broke out of this falling wedge. There's that falling wedge. The breakout's here. The retest is here. And yes, I did buy the retest. And we are looking for a potential move higher. Palladium down $34. We are still above a lot of support. We've got the nice big green army showing up, the small red candlesticks. I think everything looks good for a move higher eventually. Do I know the time frame? Not exactly, but I know that there's support down here, and I would buy off this support region if it does get there. If you like palladium, and then eventually I think it will go up. We've got the nice big stair step pattern, the broken downtrend, blah blah blah. The bigger green candlestick, small selling pressure, all that stuff. GDX up. Oh, wait. You said up, right? Yes, I said up. So there is positioning in the equities while the metals were down today. So GDX is up, GDXJ is up a little bit, and SILJ is flat. I view this as bullish. If people are continuing to buy the equities, I think we still have the bull market intact. It's all good. It's all good. So that looks good for all of them. XAU to gold ratio, it is slightly beating gold today, up 0.05, and we are still at incredibly low levels down here, guys. And I like how we are moving sideways, consolidating on very small candlesticks. It is almost like, and I'm just going to guess here, it's almost like it is predicting that we are going to go into an election, that the markets are being held down for gold and silver, and the mining companies, they're just moving sideways in a consolidation pattern. And when the election maybe is past us, perhaps this thing rips it with interest rates going downward, and maybe we get a commodity or precious metals breakout for sure, and maybe commodities follow. It's tough to tell where some of these commodities will all go. Crude oil is down about 2.1%, but the pattern doesn't look bad. It does not look bad. So when I look at this, I see double bottom potential. We've broken back into the pattern, and then I can just throw kind of maybe a pattern like this, like we're squeezing up. And I don't see a ton of selling pressure killing us. Your selling pressure was here, and then we came back with the buyers coming back in, which is saying that the sellers are getting tired. The sellers are getting tired because you're seeing the candlesticks get smaller and smaller. And the buying pressure is still there. That's what the big greeny guy. So I think this is going to be a consolidation. Now, we don't know for sure. I'm just guessing based off of this. If this is a double bottom, we would consolidate and do a retest in this general area here. So that would be a good time to load up if and when we get that breakout. So that's what it looks like to me, and that's my take on it. It looks okay. TTF gas up about 1.4%, going right against that resistance line, looking like it's trying to break out. When you're trying to break out, what you'll see is you'll come up and hit it. You'll pull back, hit it again, pull back. Then you should be real light on this, almost doing a shoulder, head, shoulder type deal that we are doing. And we're playing with the resistance line with these big green candlesticks. So it looks good. We've got natural gas getting sold off today, down 5.6%, extending a little bit lower in nat gas in America. We've got XOP, yeah, you know me, down about 1.4%. We're up against this resistance line. I'm curious to see if we break through. It looks good to do that. We've got a nice big bullish engulfing here, and then the small little down candlesticks on the weeklies. So it still looks good. OIH down just a little bit. Again, we've got the big bullish engulfing here, and then the small selling pressure still looks good to go higher. We've got Newcastle coal futures right up against resistance that we're trying to break out, and we'll see if we can get some distance away from that resistance line. Sprott Uranium Trust trading sideways today. Looking okay. Nothing, still upside momentum. A little bit of resistance above us. We've got uranium futures pricing down just a teeny bit today. Still looks good. Momentum up. URA up about 0.5%, up against resistance, and let's see if we can break through. URNM also getting closer and closer to that resistance, a little bit further behind. And then URNJ is going to be even more behind that one. So the gap between it. But we'll get there. We've got copper down 2%, pulling on back. It's not falling like a rock. So if we were bearish, guys, we would be falling like a rock. Bearish being falling like this. That's falling like a rock. You fall like a rock off a thing like this, and then you consolidate sideways, and then you get another move lower. That's generally what bearish patterns look like. This one we've broken to the upside. We don't have any of that bearish formation. So I still think that we have bullish formations to go higher. So just to kind of lay that out. And most of these patterns are angled downward, which is, flag patterns, stuff like that, falling wedges. COPX down a little bit, 1.56%, momentum still to the upside. Just be patient. You could get a full retest out of this too, which is possible. Iron ore down just a teeny bit. It's holding on. Not a ton of selling pressure. It's okay. Aluminum down a little bit, right at resistance. We could stay within the channel that we've got here. The channel that I'm talking about is this channel here. We're kind of contained in that channel at the moment. Nickel up 1%, and I do think this could work its way on up in the short term, creating a double bottom, just like uranium and oil and all the other ones. All the commodities are putting in this like double bottom thing. So I don't know why nickel wouldn't. Lithium's doing it too. Mu down just a teeny bit. Looks really well controlled to the downside. When you get these selling pressure moves, it's not selling much. We do have a little bit of a flag pattern, so maybe we come back here. I would be a buyer down there if it does do that. Emerging markets down just a teeny bit. Doesn't like the higher yields, higher dollar, but the momentum's to the upside in the longer term. KRE up just a little bit. Looks like we're going to try to break through my awesome pattern that I put in there a long time ago, and we're right up at the top. We'll see if we can punch through it at some point here. TAN doesn't like the stronger yield, stronger dollar. Neither does lithium. Pulling on back. And guys, this could have a pretty decent pullback. I mean, this is a big move here. We went all the way to $50 almost from about 38 here. All the way from the bottom is 34 or $35. So 35 to about 50. I mean, that's a big move. So expect maybe a pullback in a more of a retest move. And, I'm going to buy the crap out of lithium companies down here. And if you want to know what those lithium companies are, we got the website. You'll see me play it here, probably in my Roth 401k. REMX doing something very similar to lithium, just pulling back a little bit. Your double bottom, nickel's right over here in the progress of that double bottom. Baltic Dry Index getting a little bit of support right at that support area. So that's the support area. So it's up 1%. XHB up 2%. Whoa. I thought we were going to crash in the real estate market. Why are we loading up to go higher here? So what we did is we broke out, retest. This is your buy point was here with the bullish engulfing, and here we are heading higher out of that resistance trend. Like I said, looking good. If you guys want to learn how to do this, we're going to talk about risk reward on companies this next question and answer session, um, and the alignments that I look for. A lot of value there coming up next website question and answer talk. Moving higher on Russell 2000, looking good. We're breaking this little wedge to the upside. Looks good. I think we're going up, 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 up. SPX going on up. Elections are coming. Let's flood it, baby. NASDAQ moving up too, looking good in the short term. SMCI, we are down 0.88, still looking a little bit rough here. We came on down, squeezed. That is a inverted flag pattern. Pooped on out of that thing. I'm curious to see where this goes from here. We have the buyers kind of lining this up on the right hand side, going to try to make a move, and we'll see if they're successful. And no, I don't usually play. I mean, this is still an upward facing pattern though, so we'll see, guys. Hold your britches. Don't get too premature a pumpulation here. And I'm sure some people are going to start drawing trend lines. NVIDIA is still going up. They need to push this higher if the market's going to go higher. So that's moving on up. Bitcoin's ripping 5.2%. This looks really good for a potential move higher out of this pattern for Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. We've got the pattern that I look for, the big buying pressure, the small selling pressure. It's coming on up, and that looks like it's going to try to do a go here right at this resistance level. We've got Ethereum also up, kind of that double bottom, and then the elongation up 6.33%. That looked pretty good. We got a breakout, a retest, double bottom, and then we're starting to work our way out of it. And that momentum is generated to move on up. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website. Our website still has that Mayday coupon code. It's one word, MAYDAY. If you want the monthly membership just to try it out, 50% off the first month only. So it's $25 to try it out. If you want to go to a yearly membership and you're already a member and you like the content, you like being a part of the community, you like learning about investing and the Q&A sessions and all that, you can always go to a yearly membership. Use this coupon code, get yourself a bigger discount if you want to, and you want to sign up for a year. If you're new, you can also sign up for a year too. No big deal. So that's what I've got going on there. Question and answer session coming up this weekend. A lot of people are very interested. They got about a topic I was talking about at the end of that Q&A session. Risk reward in companies. My opinions on risk reward. And we're going to dive deep into risk reward, my opinions on it. And I'll try to show you guys kind of the risks that a company goes through. It's not always the same. It changes over time, and it changes based off market conditions. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into it. A lot of people, I think somebody wanted me to know, what are some potential 100-baggers? And that's pushing your luck, getting over 100 times your money. You're gonna have to sacrifice probability of success for more risk. You're gonna have to take on more risk, and more risk generally means that you'll be wrong more often. Hence the probability. There are maybe some setups out there, and I can describe setups where what they look like in the beginning of those setups. So people who are members will know what it looks like. What does a 100-bagger look like? What does it feel like? Most people, I will say, do not want to buy at the bottom, and they are not strong enough emotionally and stable enough emotionally to ride through the volatility at the beginning, middle, and at the end, because it takes a different breed. I am continually advancing my emotional stability to hold through whatever's thrown at me. And it's taken me a long time to get where I'm at today. 2020, I bought a lot of that bottom down there, guys. I'm still holding a lot of those companies. And it is difficult sometimes. It's more about watching paint dry than it is actively doing something. It's not like work, where you go to work, you actively work on something, and it gets better. Investing, it's usually the opposite. You actively try to do nothing, and that's where sometimes I just don't even want to look at the account, get away from it, all those things. But that's what I've got, guys. So looking forward to this weekend talking about some of the companies. I'm going to try to put visual representations together, not beforehand. I'll do it during. And I'll ask you guys what is the best way to communicate this to everyone, because it is a topic that I think is highly important to understand. The charts also tie in with it. So you'll see how this all ties together, hopefully. But that's what I've got for today. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.